Hi, hello on this first Wednesday of November. Such an incredible time in our lives. Um, Here in the UK, we're starting a new second lockdown. In many parts of the world, there has already been a second wave and a lockdown. There's the elections taking place as I speak. However, there's so much I feel that I can't control, so much uncertainty, and those are one of the top two stressors for human beings. So I'd like this video to be upbuilding and take a look at what we can control and how we can create some certainty, especially if you're going into November and you may be feeling engaged with life and what's happening, but perhaps exhausted. I know I am. Maybe you're feeling dedicated to work, to whatever's important to you, yet depleted. And rituals have many benefits. And one of them is that they can create structure and certainty. And by making the ordinary a little extraordinary, we can bring in a sense of meaning and purpose. And like I said in the description to the video, that when we engage in ritual, and I'll share what that is in a moment, it can help us make us feel, or helps me certainly to feel prepared, somewhat present, because I'm in the moment, passionate, principled, and even a little potent, as it makes me connect to something bigger than myself. So we can transform little experiences, and in that way slowly transform our reality. So no matter where you are in the world and how you're feeling right now, this is a technique that may help, because when I speak about ritual, I don't know, you may think of candles and sandals, and you may think of ceremonies. You may think a lot of us do communal rituals. We have birthdays and weddings, but now with lockdown and the isolation that we're forced into, we're not able to come together and form a sense of shared experience and solidarity. So, how can we create a sense of connection and solidarity within ourselves? Because really, our sense of well being and connection ultimately comes down to our own personal responsibility. And one way, there's many ways that we can do this, but one way is through looking at how we can create and bring in more ritual. Now, because this topic is so vast, and I'm doing a masterclass on this very topic on the 11th of November. So if you'd like to deep dive for 90 minutes in a way that's fun and practical and engaging, and we'll look at the science and the theory and the well-being behind how ritual can help with happiness and resilience. And you'll leave with a very clear blueprint on how you can personally have your own ritual roadmap in your own life. However, right now, I'd like to bring to your attention and awareness how maybe the way you wake up tomorrow morning, the way you go to bed tonight or tomorrow night, can be a way that you can transform your reality by transforming your experience. So why is this important? Well, once I've mentioned that it can help create certainty and structure in a time of major uncertainty and lack of structure. There's also a quote by the authors of the book, The Power of Engagement. Schwartz, I can't think, Tony Schwartz and Jim Law, who said that the bigger the storm, and God, do we find ourselves in a massive storm, the bigger the storm, the more likely we are to revert back to our survival habits, and the more we need positive rituals. So what are your positive rituals? Because if you don't have any, you're going to revert back to your survival habits, which may not be serving you in the best way, in order to help you feel exhilarated rather than exhausted, and help you feel full, not depleted. Oh, Sheila, you're online. That's great. Lovely. And a ritual roadmap, that just came to me. um, Thank you for sharing that you're enjoying the masterclasses. So what I'd like you to think about tonight as you go to bed, there's so many things that we do on automatic pilot. So we do just with like unconscious competence. I don't know about you, but I often have a cup of tea before I go to bed. I'll switch off the lights. I will open up my duvet and then get into bed, and then I might listen to something on Audible or do maybe a short meditation or maybe read a book before allowing myself to go to sleep. So where in those last 5 or 10 minutes could you maybe bring in a ritual or two? something that I'm doing is as I open up the bed to climb into the sheets, is I've turned that into something a little extraordinary by just thinking, what do I want to bring into my dream space as I climb into bed? That's it. Nothing more dramatic than that. No candles and sandals and incense and howling to the moon and all that stuff could be good. I literally did many of those things on the weekend with the full moon and a group of wonderful women when we got together to discuss what we want to acknowledge and celebrate and bring into the moon, the new moon cycle. But I digress. As you get into your bed, what are a few small things you could do? Perhaps as you take the last few sips of your cup of tea, you could ask yourself, infuse the tea drinking with some kind of meaning and personal significance, because that's how we create ritual, is we bring a sense of passion and purpose and presence and personal meaning and purpose to something what that could be insignificant, and that can make it significant. So as you swallow your last sip of tea, you could perhaps think to yourself, what am I wanting to swallow and bring into my life, especially as I go into the dream space? And then in the morning, so the end of the day, those last 5 minutes and the first 5 minutes of your morning, how could you perhaps make the ordinary extraordinary? So as I'm waking up and I get out of bed, the first thing I always do is make my bed. And I always used to do this very meaninglessly, like without much thought. And what I've started to do, because I'm trying to bring ritual back into my sleep so that I can create easier rest, is as I make my bed, I thank my bed. I express gratitude for the linen and the sheets and the mattress that supported me and kept me warm and cocooned me, no matter what kind of sleep I had that night. And then maybe there's other things that you do in the morning. You go up and put the kettle on. So as you switch the kettle on, how could you maybe take a moment to think about what is your intention for the day? What kind of quality do you want to bring in? It makes me think of the poem by David White called Everything is Waiting for You, where he brings the reminder that it is a great mistake if we think we are playing out this drama alone. So there's this global drama going on, and you are not alone. As he says, to feel abandoned is to deny the intimacy of your surroundings. So wherever you are, whether you're on your own, with a family, with a partner, you are not on your own. And if we can remind ourselves to stay alert, because alertness is the hidden discipline of familiarity. So things like the poem brings out the kettle, the stairs, the doors, and how these things can be a reminder that we aren't alone. So put down the weight of your aloneness and ease into the conversation. The kettle is singing for you, even as it pours you a drink. And then he goes on to speak about the birds and the creatures that are unutterably themselves, and that everything is waiting for us. So perhaps as you start your morning, as you end your day, you could bring little moments of purpose, passion, and presence, and make the ordinary extraordinary. And these rituals can create a sense of meaning and structure and certainty at times where we just don't have those things. And if you'd like to explore this topic deeper, then on Wednesday the 11th next week, come along and join me as we deep dive into how ritual can come into your life and add purpose and meaning and happiness despite what's going on. If you have any early morning rituals and late evening rituals that are working for you, we really can create wisdom in the room, so to speak. Please share them. I'd love to hear what's working for you and how you create a sense of belonging and purpose in your life. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much to those of you that have already left some lovely comments. Prashani, thank you. If we met at Hollard, wow, what a lovely memory. I'm so grateful for that. That was a long time ago. So I am hugely grateful to Facebook, to social media. Some of you may have watched the documentary, The Social Dilemma, and we know that sometimes social media and media news can be draining, but at other times it can be incredibly connecting, just as it is now. So thank you. I really celebrate that. And I'd love to share some more rituals with you. Stay tuned.